We'll see if Anhur gets picked. We know Oceans likes it. P's and B's, pretty please. Game number 2. Allegiance on the left-hand side. They won. They will be Order. Randozos will be Chaos.
All right, so starting it off. Bans, I'm assuming that they're going to try to keep targeting. Actually, you know what? I don't know with Allegiance. I don't know. Randozos will probably keep trying to take shots at Incon, but after that Kukulkan play, I mean, how was that even in your god pool?
I mean, like I said, Kukulkan is a god that I think a lot of people should have been looking at and probably were looking at once the Hand of the Gods just got completely taken out of the game for pretty much. And then we saw Shadow Nightmare succeed with it. And do you remember, right when Hog was sort of eliminated, a big part of compositions was the objective secure.
Yes.
And that sort of, like Poseidon and Aegis, people just forget about it.
Yes.
I think that happened to Kukulkan. People just forgot about his ability to go, you can't fight an objective because I win.
Yes.
And that was a big part of what Allegiance was able to do. So, I don't know. It was interesting.
Kukulkan is the ball. You never take your eye off the ball.
Got it.
It's the first rule in all sports is you keep your eye on the ball. And if you ever take your eye off the ball,
you're going to get hit by it.
You better hope that you're lucky.
You're just going to get hit.
And it's the most damage. It's one of the most, if not the most damaging ability in the game.
It's certainly.
It's that, or maybe the Janus.
Rollout is also like stupid.
Come on. Actually, it is 400 base at full charge.
Yeah, that's what Thor. Can't take him away from Lassiz. I mean, this is the game came out, and Thor and Lassiz were there.
I want to see Eonic go into Nemesis.
I want to see Eonic go. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a great god. Let's be serious. But it's Eonic's god. I mean, when we saw them face off against Eager, the reason that DJ Pernicus kept picking this low-tier god is because if Eonic gets it, Eonic wins the game. That's how it's always been for when he was subbing in.
And you know what? You know what? I'm like all of a sudden really angry at that Hunbats pick because Eonic has proven himself to be an extravagantly good for just destruction Kali, just the assassin, assassin. I'm usually sitting here saying, look, if you can't do it, go for the safer team fight, junglers. The opposite. We know you could do it, Eonic. Give me something to dance to, please.
See, for me, Hunbots is a character that fits more to Eonic's playstyle. I mean, he's a support player. It has a giant support ult, right? But Eonic's a jungler now. He's not playing support anymore, and he has to get his mindset in the role. And he has to trust his team, because that's the problem, is he does not trust the Randozos the same way he trusted Envy.
And I think, going back to what I said in game number 1, where not only will Eonic teach his team about how to be in a winning environment, but he has to learn about himself, and his team will teach him. Eonic will learn how to trust his teammates. And I think that's a big part of him on Randozos.
The hard part is, I mean, like I said, he was on a team with Divios, Snoopy, Boosh, Gars, right? He was on a team with Cyclone Spin, Omega, MLC Stealth.
People that you have to trust by default.
Right, like that you know. Like if that was a rank game and that was your team, you're like, easy low.
And now with Randozos, this is a squad that you don't trust by default. I mean, Scary, Dioduro, Meerkat, PolarBearMike, they're not these tenured players like those other guys you mentioned. But if you are going to be successful in the SPL, you have to trust your teammates, whether they are A tier or as low as they can go. You have to trust the teammates, and Eonic will learn that by playing with these guys. I think it'll make him a better player overall.
As we get through the picks and bans, it was Guan Yu Sobek to finish it up. And then, of course, we see the Raijin Janus banned away again from the Randozos. So 3 mages banned and a mage picked. Team Allegiance has to pick for Incon here in just a second. Randozos will pick up Geb for their support. A surprisingly absent god, 35% pick ban and a major fall from grace, and I still don't understand why.
I think he's still very fantastic. You know what it is? He's not one size fits all anymore. The Geb shield, while it's always good, excels specifically against characters that, like Naja, characters that want to try and burst you down. So we see Geb against those scenarios, not always other places. Zeus, I mean, Zeus was picked after the Geb, but it was probably a good pick for Geb to be with this Zeus. Anhur
going to be locked in. You called it. Oceans had probably the game of his very short career so far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And sparked a rather large amount of argument over the throwing dagger, whether or not it was a viable item for competitive play. Cyclone Spin, you know, obviously going on Twitter, although I think he had some fun with it. But the big argument, it's like, is that 1 in 10 chance fair? And my argument is that was the coolest play I've seen all season, and we should be really excited.
You're not looking at the screen. Don't look at it. I'm very happy. Now look at it.
All right. See, this is what I like, because this kind of brings the support role and the assassin role together. Because
you got to fill that. How is Kali's support? You got to fill this out.
She could be a frontliner. She
Yes,
can
she
go
can.
in. She doesn't just throw one ult and then try to do a bunch of damage. She will put down her stun. She will bait people. She will spread them out because it... Oh, come on.
Brandon.
I mean, I don't hate it, but, like, come on, dude. Like, I like how they brought us in with her jumping around, man.
If you look at my Twitter picture where my hand is on my face, that's just what I'm doing right now. I'm just, like, scary. Okay.
All right, a few things. One, she's not a bad solo lane.
Not at all.
Her clear is incredible.
She can interrupt bludgeon.
Right, which is very important. But I would say the first 2 levels, you're looking at Nimble Strike and Lash.
Yeah.
Right? So you throw the Lash out, you want to hit the player as well as the wave, and then you Nimble Strike everything and it clears. What you got?
He doesn't have teleport. So Kali
No, you can't get teleport.
He's expecting to win this lane.
No. You just can't build Kali teleport. Because if you build teleport, then you're either giving up beads
Yeah, you're totally
or you're giving up blink. And then that's just not a good idea.
Blink is the ideal.
They should be starting mid camps, though. Their clear is incredibly fast.
Yeah. I definitely not going to disagree with that one. But it'll be Eonic on the... Well, the old DJ Pernicka standard.
You know, this is actually a slower clear, I think, than if they would have went for the mid camps. Probably by about a second overall, just because if Eonic had just used his Tallow Assault at the mid camps, the time it takes them to run back would have negated the extra 1.5 seconds they wasted trying to kill the back camps. At that point, you're going to see, look at the 2 solo laners. They'll meet up at basically the same time.
Yeah. Chain Lightning. Already starting out good damage for Incon.
Who got the right side camps?
Can we see Grasher?
Actually, no. Look, the right side camps did go to Lassiz.
Yeah.
They did not do their back camps. They did not do their boar.
Misstep by Randozos.
Oh, where is Bakasura?
Oh.
Have you played with this new Bakasura yet?
Unfortunately.
Dude, it is some obnoxious nonsense. Oh, speaking of obnoxious nonsense, hey, take a detonate.
There it is, and Lassiz can't find the double tap. That would have been first blood, but off the mark for the veteran jungler.
Oh, Jesus, guys, stop with the hand-holding.
Now, where's that detonate?
That was a meditation. He burned his meditation to keep himself alive.
He intelligently used, like, that was death.
And take a look at Eonic's health right now. Well, before that, he was sitting at about 210. That meditation, I think, healed up for about 120.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more. If he had not done that, Incon's level 2 detonate would have killed.
Wow. Incon, the Zeus.
By the way, Zeus's build, my new favorite build for mids.
Okay.
That is obnoxious.
You get the aggressiveness out of the Soul Stone and then the defensiveness out of the hammer. There's the interrupt on the bludgeon.
Oh, I like the jump in place. I like the jump in place. That was smart. Remember, Nimble Strike will heal you for, I think, a 20% of their missing health. Can we actually hover?
Yes.
It's 20?
Yep.
It's 20%?
20% of the target's missing HP is what the heal gets to.
Right there again.
Action again. And that's what Scary D is going to utilize a lot. Solo laners, almost all of the successful ones, have some sort of sustain. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
And Kali doesn't have it at first glance. But if you're willing to be as aggressive as Scary D is and jump on them time and time again, there's your sustain.
Now, the only problem here is, like you said, there's no teleport. Meaning, at any point, Mattypocket could back, and Scary D would be forced into a pretty awkward position. He has to spend a lot more money into potions, which he is burning through very quickly. But then again, so is Matty, already out.
Well, you're basically looking at a situation in the solo lane where Allegiance have to realize that the Kali is not going to be able to rotate to these early Gold Furies. So use that, because later on, Kali's going to rotate to anything she wants and kill you.
A little bit off the mark there. Thought he was going to go more aggressive. Kali getting the better of Bellona. And again, it's really not that bad of a matchup. Yes, she can be disarmed, but at the same time, she can stop the bludgeon. And then she still has Lash Nimble Strike to be able to clear the wave up. Lass is canceling.
Now, do you change your strategy if you're Bellona to maxing your Scourge at this point?
PolarBearMike, actually. Yeah, wow, okay. So first kill going to be going to Geb, and I don't hate that. The faster he gets his boots online, or if he goes into Wingblade, the better for the rotations in the mid-game.
Right side Harpies go to Allegiance as well, so not too far behind despite the first blood. Ocean's showing his fades. Going to use the ultimate to pop down the buff, but
nope,
doesn't get it.
Oh, and slightly off the mark there. I expected him to get that impale, put a wall up in a different place, but not quite. Still 1-0 Randozos. They have a slight gold lead, and then of course stealing away that red buff should hurt Incon at least a little bit.
Definitely. Left Harpies go to Allegiance as well. Well, so far,
100%.
100%.
Yeah, they've gotten every single mid-camp so far. And the timing is staggered just enough to ensure that they can continue this pressure without much fear. DaretoCare, oh, he tried to go for the combo. It's a little bit too slow, though, and yeah, he's going to die.
Duro with the hot ultimate out of the mid-soul. Able to pick up the support. Supports. They're the ones dying this game.
You know, it's funny. I actually said, you know, there's a strange absenteeism coming out from Geb this split.
Yes.
And to the point where he is most certainly the most underrated god right now, considering a 35% pick ban rate when he's still probably an S-tier god, comparatively to who I think is the most overrated, Sobek.
I think Sobek has definitely Sobek has been played. You know what's interesting about the Sobek? He has been played a lot more than I think is necessary. But we also just, similar to Naja, have a lot of Sobek players in our meta pool right now.
That's true.
I think that's really the case, is that, you know, we even saw the solo Sobek at a variety, and that's just his god pool, right? I think it just happens that our players at the moment are Sobek guys.
All right, fair enough. I just want to see a little bit of a switch back to Geb, though this is probably like the second best skin in the game. But only if you can hear the voice.
You know, I don't know. OG Sobek is a great model. He is my favorite base model by far.
Listen, the kaiju can hear you.
Sobek.
No, you must fear the kaiju.
Sobek.
What do you do? What are you doing?
Sobek and Outwash, they're like Pokemon.
See, I was going to say, the best skin in the game is Nutcracker Outwash.
It's terrifying.
It is the best skin.
It's terrifying.
Have you ever seen his clap? It's the greatest.
No, I tune him out. He's terrifying. I don't like to play against him.
Well, he's like a Lord of the Underhell world of Mayan death. I don't know, man. He's scary. He's supposed to be scary.
Scary D's a little in the same
They're going for it.
Onto the tower.
They got
Eonic
this.
looking for the stun. Mattypocket can't do anything. Heal for a moment. And the dash out of Eonic as he and his fine. Here comes Lassiz.
Got the follow-up. He's looking for the follow-up. And, oh, trouble.
Beautiful jump. Beautiful jump over the wall, over the stun, but ultimately Scary D falls down to Incon. Either way, a couple of deaths in the solo lane on both sides, 2 for each.
That's a win for me, most certainly for the Randozos. Anytime Kali gets gold, that team wins.
Sure.
And if the kills are even, if there's no gold furies or towers taken, the tie goes to the runner, and she is the fastest person right now.
That's very true. No, you're wrong. Sobek has Talari boots. Nice try.
She'll get Fatalis. I do like the start. Scary D, very smart here to not go into chin size. You should not be building chin size second. It doesn't matter where you go. It's just inherently incorrect to me.
We were discussing this as well. Chin size come first if you want to like not do anything at all during the early game. But the Ichabal allows you. Lash hurts, and the Ichabal allows you to bridge the gap in between those two items.
Lash hurts a lot. Way more than people give it credit for.
Yes.
And the chin size, you don't need that until people really start leveling up and getting that health online. It's the scaling that you're trying to take away.
That's the key.
Early game, you're hitting people for like 12. Like, who cares?
That's the real key, is that it's 4% of your health. And, you know, what's 4%?
Oh, a big turnaround this time. Last time we saw Oceans go for the steal, didn't get it, and miss the Impale. This time we saw Incon steal his own red buff back, and the Impale hits.
Yeah, one time. That's all you get. All right, I see the mistake I made. Not going to happen again. That's the type of players I like to see in my SPL, and we certainly see that. Honestly, on both sides, Randozos have adapted to some of the mistakes they made in game number 1. They've elected for a very aggressive solo laner.
Flung back. PolarBearMike in some trouble here. Will use his Cataclysm, but he is stuck inside. No! DaretoCare goes to confirm the front line instead. Aduro very low and will go into the ethereal form. In the back line, he will stay alive. It looks like Incon standing strong. Lassiz not going to find the double tap. Will find the auto, though. And Eonic now notably in some trouble.
Guan Yu being played as a jungler instead of a Guan Yu. That was a problem. Eonic tower dove and tried to get the kill, which was tasty, I will admit. But Guan Yu was there to provide Uzi machine gun heals, and not a single heal was brought to his teammates that died.
So here's the trouble for Kali in the solo lane. She didn't win the trade. She's now in a bad spot, has to back. She does have her Ickfall now, but she has to walk back to lane while Matty here gets a free rotation around the map. Now, he's not going to get much. Most things are getting washed out, but no, there's no but. He's not going to get much here, which is lucky for Scary D that everything's already gone.
And he's going to walk over the ward, so Scary D knows that there's absolutely nothing to be too concerned about.
Oh, Matty actually not going to use the bludgeon. He was actually trying to use that Scourge to heal himself up. I mean, think about how many times he just attacked. He probably would have healed, I would say somewhere in the neighborhood of 110, but instead doesn't get much out of it.
Used the bludgeon here to completely clear the wave, find himself level 12. So a step ahead of his enemy solo laner. 300 gold, about half a level ahead from Mattypocket.
And he's going to go over towards the Illies. Small heals. Oceans playing dangerously. Meerkat. Oh, in some trouble.
Lassiz also goes to the stun, but Oceans pushes out Meerkat out of the wave.
That was a choose your own adventure, guys. How did Meerkat get into the jungle? But left side, he'll get some tower pressure. Meerkat does not have his ultimate, mind you, so he's not going to have a quick trip back here.
Look at DaretoCare's placement.
That's what I'm about to say, man. Check this out.
Love it.
By standing there, he's acting as a ward.
Yep. He's the ward. He's the mobile ward. He's just sitting there, and he can play goalie if he needs to, but he's able to shout it just by himself.
And into the ethereal form he goes. Aduro able to be safe. If he had not activated it there as early as he did, he would have got flung back. He would have gone into the ethereal after, and then Lassiz would have stunned him for the double tap. Likely we would have saw a chain lightning as well. Aduro very smart to do it as early as he did.
Definitely a long-time player Aduro is. Ooh, Heartbeat's being aggressed on. Could these go to Randozos? And Mattypocket's got something to say about it. Zeus ultimate down as well. Scary D's got 2 charges. No detonate just yet. There it is. He's down to 25. Forced into the ultimate. Very, very low is the solo lane assassin. He'll find a way out, jumping over the wall, but Lassiz follows. Lassiz takes him out off screen. Coming back to the main fight. Meerkat's able to take one out, but Incon answers correctly. Allegiance lose 2. So do Randozos.
Wow, yeah, Ocean's falling down pretty early in that fight. Lassiz going down right after. A lot of that having to do with Scary D playing that beautifully. He goes in, he doesn't activate his ultimate early, he doesn't, panic, and by forcing Lassiz into a bad spot, he's already wasted 2 ults on himself. Then Ocean gets it, and rather Meerkat gets in, cleans it up, and then they have no more front line. They wind up losing another. Very smart.
Allegiance wind up again with the wash. This one very, very close, 5-6. And gold all even for all intents and purposes. Much different story than game number 1.
So we're going to see Ocean's, I'm sorry, Scary D go into the Chin Size. Not going to be going into Fatalis early enough, meaning he's going to lose a fair amount of attack speed and as a result a fair amount of damage, at least until he finishes the Chin Size. Once you have the Chin Size, there is a slight DPS increase over the Fatalis with Iqbal, though it is slight.
Meerkat in some trouble here.
I'll miss you, Meerkat.
Strong Mez. Where's the pillar coming out from Oceans?
No ult.
Ooh.
No ult for 20. I thought Oceans had it.
Not going to be the case. Oceans can't find the abilities, so Meerkat safe and sound. Way back in the dual lane. Randozos answer. Got a couple of players here to say what's up, but another great wall from Lassiz.
What does Oceans do here? Does he push desperately? No. They're going to back up.
There's 3 clowns in the jungle. I'm not pushing.
By the way, no Gold Furies yet. 12 minutes.
Nope. Our players have been more concerned about, well, surviving. Honestly, everybody's just been hyper-aggressive to the point where the only thought on people's minds is, I don't want to die. I don't want to get caught out.
Well, most notably, I would say Incon, considering the fact that he went into that Imperial helmet and now is going into the Wing Blade right after.
DaretoCare surprising the squad. Knock up into the flip. Very good play. Fundamentals on display right there. Big slow. Can't find the stun is Oceans. And the Sanctuary will make sure DaretoCare doesn't chomp down the Hunter.
I probably wouldn't have burned the Sanctuary there.
Neither would I.
I mean, that's a level 10 Sobek. He's not doing that much. Nice damage, though, from Incon, and another amazing wall from Lassiz.
It's more about the follow-up. DaretoCare chunks you down. Incon shows up. 1-3 charge detonate.
Trouble. Meerkat looking for the solo. 187 finds a crit. And then Meerkat going to get returned. Lassiz getting that one quickly. Eonic takes to the horse, and I think it's just taking a strange trip around the map.
He's looking for DaretoCare. Can't find it, though. Knockup will push the Guan Yu jungle out of the way. Lassiz can't find the kill. His strong body blocks coming out from the dual lane on Randozos. But can we say it? Get soloed by Meerkat Oceans. Get soloed. Well played. Loved it, too. Hits the Mez.
Oh, jeez.
Hits the Mez. Finds the secure basic with the Apollo. Ratata for the young hunter.
Wow. This guy. He actually went there. Actually did it.
I can't tell which place you mean. The Ratata or the soloed by Meerkat?
Either one, man. You're like a Twitter monster right now.
The cloud is coming out. You're fried. You're fried. You're fried.
Cracking my brain,
Cracking
dude.
my brain, fam.
Cracking my brain.
I miss Allied a little bit. So Allied's been sick. He's been out a little bit.
Shout out to my man.
Yeah, he's for what it's worth, he has been trending upwards, but it's been arduous. He'll find his way back here in a couple of weeks.
One of our newer co-casters. He found himself on the wrong side of the knife, unfortunately. But he's doing better, guys. Make sure to tweet at Allied or at Envy Allied.
Make sure you specify that you mean surgery.
Surgery, yeah. People know what I'm talking about. Not like a knife fight.
The wrong side of the knife sounds like he got stabbed.
This is not like a Bronx Tale, man. What are you doing?
It's an Atlanta Tale. That's certainly. You find yourself on the south side of the wrong time.
Jeez, man, you're crazy.
I mean, it's Allied. He could find just. It's 3 a.m. I'm at cookout. I got stabbed on accident, right? No. It was problems with the doctor.
Oh
He'll be okay.
But make sure to tweet at him. Get at Envy Allied on Twitter and make sure to send him some love, guys.
Yeah,
He'll appreciate it.
He's a big part of our team over here at hi-rez, so I want to make sure he's feeling a little bit better. Incon's feeling a little bit better in this game, 2-0-2 for him.
So there's that wing blades finally finished up. So let's talk about slow potential. Eonic can slow with the dash. Aduro has it on the Stellar Burst. PolarBearMike has it on certain parts of the rollout. And then, of course, Meerkat coming in with the dash as well.
Yeah.
It's a fair amount of slows on this team, which will prevent him from dying. I mean, someone activating a slow in the wrong part could actually wind up saving Incon now.
You know, I think that Apollo's kit is one of the most
appreciated. No?
Understood.
Oh, okay. So you have the dash, which can slow or increase, right? You have the...
And it gives you ticks of audacity.
Right, exactly. And if you dash through enemies... Oh, speaking of enemies...
Scary D. Looking for a new one. He's going to activate the ult. Mattypocket dances around. Bludgeon!
No,
jumped over. That's the second time we've seen a strong nimble strike and a Scary D to avoid some damage.
Meditation. Going back in. Dash up in a second here, and yeah, he's got him.
Great play.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just kind of... Used to be surprising watching Mattypocket do stuff like that.
Not anymore.
Not so much anymore.
Although I was caught off guard by the meditation. I thought that fight was over. And he definitely did not think that fight was over. Another death for Kali puts her at 1-3.
Oh, Lassiz.
And, you know, this is one of the reasons I don't really love the chin size.
Just doesn't have the movement speed to escape as she would if she had Fatalis. Great wall coming out from Lassiz one more time.
Where are we going?
The sky. Gold's Fury very low. Allegiance does secure thanks to Ocean's ultimate. Meerkat's here. Gets the mez on an Incon. Dash up. He's slowed, folks. But knock up on the Meerkat will create the necessary distance. Oceans is the one in trouble now.
Ocean's panicked. He threw his Sanctuary a little bit too early, and but that right there, he doesn't panic. Perfect impale. As Mattypocket rotates over, Lassiz is cleaning up the mid lane to try to put some pressure on. Mattypocket not in a great spot, but that shield will keep him safe.
Love the usage of the pillar as well coming out from Oceans. Able to dance around it, secure his life, save himself one more time. 14-15 on the jungler versus solo lane matchup, but Eonic 13 himself coming around on the backside for Lassiz. Very low. The Kali does it herself. Scary D picks up the kill. No assist from Eonic, but he'll get credit for being in the area.
So 2-3 now. Let's check out Gold in hand. As we're looking at Kali, you know, that's the big question mark. We saw today what happens if you don't finish the game in time. She's a time bomb.
That's the Odibo.
That's the Odibo, which isn't a thing, by the way. It's the oboe.
But the oboe is a woodwind instrument. It's a double-reeded woodwind instrument. It confuses me.
A beautiful piece of music to watch her in the end game.
Have you ever listened to an oboe?
No, man.
Ocean's in some trouble right now. Taking the boxing match against
Don't let him
Meerkat.
do it again. Don't let him say it again.
Available, but not there. Oh, Geb shows up. Duo kill out of the support and the hunter.
It's not solo.
Nope, can't say it. Just can't say it.
I know you were trying. By the way, backdoor protection still removed, and that tower will fall. Mattypocket has to give up his back camps. Randozos in a much better spot now, even though they're still down a small amount. That, of course, having to do with the Gold Fury taken by Allegiance. They're showing much more prowess. Let's actually see the graphs here. I want to see the experience, and yeah, it's even, which is technically really bad for Randozos because there's a Kali on that team. And actually, let's compare. Endgame, Zeus versus Sol, damage pretty even. Right, pretty even. I would say Guan Yu versus Thor, again, pretty even, but extended engagements belong to Guan Yu.
Exactly.
Meerkat and Oceans talking about Apollo and Anhur, clearly in favor of Apollo. I would say both supports are pretty good. I'd probably give a slight favor to Geb. And then there's no doubt in my mind that if Kali gets to the end game, she's more important than Bellona.
And like you said, with respect to the Luminosity game, I mean, Kali, did Thor go up? Thor went up. Thor came down as well. on the backside, forcing Scary D out of the fight very early. Big key for Allegiance to win this fight. Mattypocket lands on 2, gets a stun, and some damage. Eonic gonna fall before he can get up on the horse. Aduro very low as well.
Nice.
Mattypocket looking for it, but a Geb shield comes out of PBM. Polar Bear Michael.
You know, that's the thing right there, PBM. I mean, this kid is a superstar. He always has been. The fact that he didn't go to Worlds last year was, I think, a pretty major upset to a lot of people.
Yeah.
After they walked through Envy the way that they did, I think a lot of people really expected them to beat Fnatic, and that the 2-0 was a major upset. And right there, that was one of the reasons that we thought that, because PBM had complete control over that fight. And even though Eonic didn't get out because his ultimate didn't come out in time, PBM was able to save 2 more of his teammates and control the front line.
What's great about PolarBearMike is as he's not a rookie, he's a sophomore right now. And,
yes.
And what has always been there has been those reaction time plays. The quick Geb shields, the ability to just, the instinct of helping his team. We've watched him grow and he learns different mechanics and stuff, but the mindset has always been there. So you always get those plays from day 1 till day 100.
Okay, they're trying for it. Randozos with a big chance
Ocean
for
pops
victory.
Ult. Ocean steals it away with the ultimate. He comes out of nowhere. 1v5, shuts him down. Great play from the young ADC on the side of Allegiance. And now, what was a tie game going the way of Randozos, Allegiance leads by 2K with the belt.
Man, these are sad clowns. Plain and simple, all the smiles are gone.
No Patch Adams on this squad.
Exactly. And while laughter might be the best medicine, I don't know that there's anything that can cure this. They have just 5 people walking down the mid lane, and what are they going to do about this?
Literally just walking, pressing W and left-clicking. 2 towers fall. That's going to add even more gold. Let's take a look at the graphs, please. And you can see 4,300. Boop, right up.
Just tossed, man.
Bang.
Just thrown right there. They had to stop DPS. They had to stop, and they had to force Oceans into a bad spot. Yeah. By continuing the DPS, they put themselves in a position where it could be stolen. Yes, it was a lucky steal. It was estimated, but it's lucky. But the whole reason that it happened was because the Randozos gave him the opportunity, and that's the part you need to talk about. That's
the rookie move. That's the Randozos. That's the more veteran teams. Luminosity, that wouldn't have happened to. Not because Luminosity is the team, the #1 NA guys, bias, just because they're a little bit more tenured.
3-man stun. 3-man stun on top of it. Matty and Lassiz, and then another huge wall. Michael's down, and they're going to push right down the mid lane. And I don't know that without PolarBearMike that they have a chance for this. Kali's ult's already down. Eonic's ult's already down. And they're looking at Aduro and Meerkat to try to control this one. I think we're looking at GG.
Listen, Allegiance saw the Luminosity game. They're like, listen, Scary D. Nah.
Nah.
Just nah. That's my whole thesis. Just no.
And Scary D finally has the Fatalis online,
yep.
And now it doesn't do anything. The Fatalis is only a good item if your ultimate is up. If that ultimate is not available, that item is garbage.
Allegiance, 1 more tower on the left side, 5K.
And look at this. So smart. So smart. Because, all right, let's talk about the the Fire Giant, right? Ignoring the regen, just the damage. You're looking about 4,000 to 5,000 gold worth of increase.
Yes.
If they can increase their lead from 0 to 5 or 6 or 7,000, the Gold Fury or the Fire Giant has paid for themselves, and the way to do that is to be safe and take objectives like this.
See, this is funny. It's a glass half full, glass half empty kind of deal as Randozos try and take the Gold Fury, but they fail as Allegiance able to, despite giving them an option, did not take it. Scary D in some trouble, and he's dead. 10 kills for Allegiance in total. DaretoCare still pushing. Ocean's very low. Meerkat's in the backside trying to find the Hunter. He's going to find a way out.
And Aduro, not going to be so lucky, it seems. Lassiz credited with that one. And Meerkat backing to the base to try to hold it down. Left side, a possibility out of Tier 2.
So, I was saying, when you're ahead 5 to 6K with the Fire Giant, taking that Gold Fury, I think that's the question I'm going to ask people when I go on blind dates now. Because that's a glass half full, glass half open. Are you taking that Gold Fury so that it's not an option for your opponent to take it? Or are you taking it to push yourself further ahead?
Oh, it's definitely the lead.
See, I think I want to take it away from Randozos. See, I'm the opposite.
I think it's the lead.
I'm the pessimist.
I mean, let's actually go to the graphs here. You're going to see 2 major spikes right back to back. And you'll notice that one is very prominent. It's bringing them up to that 7,000 gold lead. And if at that point Randozos say, okay, I don't want to fight them, that's just, it's not a 1,500 gold win. It's a 3,000 gold win. Because you're doing both. You're not only taking it away, but if you're not ahead 15K, you're still using that gold. If your guys aren't full build, you're still using that gold.
See, exactly. It's the same exact. It's all semantics. It's just kind of funny. Which way do you look at it? Because it's the same. You know, Randozos, while you're doing something more important, can just go ahead and sneak that Gold Fury. We've seen Denial do it a number of times. It's like Shadow Q's go-to maneuver. Oh, you're doing something that I don't like. I'm just going to take the Gold Fury.
See, a lot of people think that Smite is a 5v5 game, and I don't agree. It's 5v5v1, and that 1 is the map. You have to be able to beat your opponents and the map. And if you can't do both, you wind up being a fractured team.
Yes.
The Randozos will win the 5v5. Denial will win the 5v1. But they're fractured.
I like the way. So it's PvPvPvP.
PvPvE.
Player versus environment. PvPvE.
It's everything.
Yeah,
you have to do both.
And now we're gonna.
That's what MOBAs are.
Yeah, and the Fire Giant. I mean, damn, we got like a what's it called? An actual engagement and Fire Giant. You have to know the boss fight. Please install DBM before you come onto my casuals.
Dude, stop. I'm triggered right now. Like, oh, so it was out of date. I didn't know that I was going to get hit.
You can auto-update with Curse Client. What are you doing? You filled out an application. We accepted you on the team. And the Legions, because of their application.
And all the 12-year-olds in chat are like, what are they talking about?
10K gold lead for the boys in blue.
How much?
10K gold lead for the boys.
How much?
12K gold, 10K, 11K, 11 and they were ahead by a lot, and they're looking for the win. Randozos now stuck in the middle lane.
Whoa.
You heard Lassiz.
Where's he going?
He's
Aduro?
going.
He's in the ethereal form, and PolarBearMike's out of position. Nice juke back to dodge it. Geb shield to reduce some of the damage as well. Lassiz not going to get the wall that he was looking for this time. And Incon able to push him back. Fire Giant still available.
Scary D behind. Scary D is behind. Allegiance, if they turn on him, they can burn on him. But they don't know that he's there. Scary D will sneak a back.
I like this. That is definitely the best play that he could have made in this situation, except for maybe split pushing, which would have been cute. Speaking of split pushing, I mean, Apollo really needs to start forcing them to make decisions.
That's what Apollo does well. Meerkat needs to just start taking out. There's 3 towers left on the board that are blue in color. Those have Meerkat's name all over them.
Oh, I'm sorry. One more time. Golden Hand. We're looking at Kali once again. Okay, way in the bottom. Remember, here in Season 3, we do have a new item, Stone Cutting Sword, which is one of her key components now. And that's a 1,600 gold finish.
50 power, and then an Ichabal type effect where you remove protections on basics.
And you get them. So it's 10 protections, physical protections, plus 10% movement speed, which, of course, is one of Kali's best stats.
It's an item that was built for these
Bakasuras,
fighters,
Kalis,
these Bakas, these Nemesises, these Kalis. Thank you.
It's not Nemesis, it's Nemesis. It's Nemesis, maybe.
I thought finally after weeks of saying Chronai that you would finally join me.
No, man, it's incorrect.
Why?
They're proper nouns.
So?
I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Of course I'm right.
I wish you guys saw his face when he said that. Oh my god, this guy.
Middle lane looks like where Allegiance will make their next big push, possibly their final, depending on how the fight goes.
Jeez,
big hit,
man.
That's a Soul Reaver tick. No, it's not, it just looked like one.
That was Wingblade, right? Like,
there's a big hit from Scary D, Purification used by Oceans. Can they outbox? Looks like they can.
Okay.
Scary D likes a bounce.
That was really big too because Scary D did not use his ultimate there. They will have a re-engagement, but for some reason, PolarBearMike does not take to the front line, and Eonic just lets that one go.
Lassiz this whole time has been pushing up the wave. Don't need all 5 to take on that. The minions are almost here.
Was that another meditation?
I heard it. Yes, it was. Was on the side of Allegiance though that time.
Purification, burn, Matty to the back line. It looks like they're going to engage here. Matty trying to control. In the front, we're going to see Lassiz go for it once again.
Lands right on down, quickly changes targets after he gets his stun. Oceans finishes off Eonic on the backside, but he's been wounded.
Whoa.
Probably will not be a big part of this fight until he, well, heals up from that Fire Giant that's already working its magic. Firebird now the target. Mattypocket playing zone duty. Lassiz playing zone duty. Incon and Oceans, mind on the prize. Both Firebirds dead.
DaretoCare gets out as well. And we're looking at Scary D. Still has his ultimate. He didn't fully commit to that fight when they really needed him to. PolarBearMike avoiding that stun. Lassiz could be in some trouble here. Purification teleports out. And PBM with these Geb shields. Yeah. Every single time that shield hits the ground, man. Every time. He's like, closest carry to shield, you are protected.
I mean, PolarBearMike, he was, you know, he was the Oceans of last year, essentially. He was a character that came out of relative obscurity onto a team that looked like it had a lot of big names and a lot of potential, and there's a reason that that was the case.
And let's be serious, the hole that was left in the Eager squad from Aurora was that's big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, he's technically replacing Zatman at this point. And
Oceans, that is.
Dude,
yeah.
he's kind of living up to it.
I mean, Oceans. It's. I'm a long way off from calling him Grandpa Zap, but I definitely think that the footsteps are being followed in at the very least. And I mean, you know, have to mention, we would be remiss if we did not mention that Lassiz and Dare played and lived with Zatman for a long-ass time.
Yes.
So you can sit here and say, all right, we've hung out for a long time. We know, obviously, it's not the same as having Zatman teach you.
Sure.
But you can, this is what he used to do in this situation.
And, you know, Lass is not, by any stretch, a weak ADC player.
Oh, not at all.
I mean, he was accomplished. We saw him outbox Allied in Allied's prime.
Yes. Yes, that's actually true. I forgot about that one. Wow.
That's a good play.
Forgot about that one.
Allied always, every time we bring it up, dude, it was like 3 years ago. Let it go, man.
He's going to tweet at you now. Laz is being very aggressive with his positioning, almost daring the opposition to go ahead and engage on him because he knows that the rest of Allegiance is lurking in the shadows. Eonic brought down to 75 already.
Look at him waiting for the wall. Do you see this?
Yeah.
And there it is.
Beautiful. There's the aggression from Scary D. Sanctuary immediately popped. Love it.
And Scary D jumps away. He doesn't really burn too much, though. He needs 20 more seconds till his purification's up.
And all that happens from the zoning guys in the middle lane while Incon and Oceans are able to just pile into the Firebird, combining for the kill onto Meerkat. Phoenix on the left-hand side going to fall. All three bird defenders are down.
Scary D is not committing to these team fights, and that's why the Randozos aren't able to win. Kali has not used her ultimate in over 2 minutes, and it has been a consistent engagement. She needs to go all in here and find a big win, and if she doesn't here, the game is...
It's already over.
Over.
Allegiance absolutely annihilate the Randozos.
Okay, so you pick Kali for the end game. I mean... We actually saw Scary D going even or winning against Mattypocket the entire time. So his early game Kali was the victor, and his late game Kali did squat. That's honestly
kind of similar. I don't want to draw comparisons to a negative performance, but kind of similar to what Skeledon was doing. He had a great early Najak game and unable to really translate it. Well, I mean, I'm honestly just kind of jumbled. That was, if anybody was sitting there at home doubting the role swap.
That's it.
Oh, well. You're wrong.
And Incon was way better this week than he was last week, which means this is definitely a upward trend. I like it a lot.
It's just only going to get better. And that was our second match. The games are even going to get even more better. We've got Soar coming up next. They will be taking on Team Eager. Definitely a game that you do not want to miss.
So for this game, this set rather, I think it's very important to do the jungle comparison. DJ Pernicus has notably been the weak link of Eager so far, and now he's going up against the team that people largely consider to be the second best talent in North America. Soar has a lot cooking for them. Of note, the last game DJ Pernicus played was his best, and he switched it around a little bit. He played Hunbats, the more team fight-oriented god, and close your eyes. Think DJ Pernicus, what's he picking in the jungle? Ratatosker. Guan Yu, come on, man. My fault. Either way, I mean, people are building Ratatosker like he's Bellona, so maybe it's in the same direction. My point is, DJ works better, in my opinion, with these team fight-oriented gods, and that's what we're seeing. Before we go to break, last thoughts on that amazing set we just had. Lassiz is awesome in jungle. DaretoCare had a great game, but Mattypocket, star. Gotta completely agree. Matty has done great work. Randozos, they've got a couple of shining lights. Meerkat and PolarBearMike, that dual lane. They have potential. I don't think this is a 0-win team. We'll see where it winds up. Eager, Soar, they're coming up next. Make sure you're here to catch that one.